Now, Ski, I want you to learn something. This is what I call class in session. Because grifters need to be reformed. They need to know who they are, right? So I'm going to show you the behavior that you exhibit in your lives. In your lives, right? You know, being so pushy on people to give you super chats, being so pushy for people to buy B50s and M80s and M40s and all this type of gear that people really don't need because I don't need it. But maybe some people may do need it. But seriously, I don't need it. I got enough junk as it is. But this is you in a nutshell, and how you have pretty much blindsided, or God damn it. This is you pretty much in how you have attracted your followers, you know, based on their own insecurities, right? The target audience, the middle-aged guy who has dreams of being a producer, right? That's the target audience. That's the target audience. How can we lure them and take their money? They'll be buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and still be in the same spot that they were before they met Ski or followed Ski. Same thing, just more money out of their pocket. But these guys have a blueprint. A lot of it, I'm going to be honest with you, comes from Iceberg Slim. Yes, a lot of these grifters, right? And not saying Ski in particular, but a lot of these grifters studied Iceberg Slim. And a lot of grifters who are formerly incarcerated, they learned the grifting skill while in prison. Yes. While in prison, instead of being rehabilitated to get out of prison and do good stuff in the community, they get out of prison and learn how to grift while they are in prison. Yes, it's a real thing. See, we know all this, Ski. We are highly educated people. Highly educated people, right? We know all the little cons and all the little schemes. And we know the behavior after the fact once you've been called out. The name calling, the twisting of information, the cognitive bias, and the minions regarding the bandwagon effect of cognitive bias. We know all this stuff. We know it all. So calling names is not going to stop any of us. Threatening is not going to stop us. And calling for your minions is not going to stop us either. Because we really don't like pretendians and grifters. And we don't like their followers either. So if you follow a grifter, then you are a grifter too. You in the same boat. You are what's known as a grifter sympathizer. And we don't like you either. Do you understand? Because this behavior has got to stop. It has got to end. Do you understand? And this goes not just for Ski, but all grifters who try to, who try to just take advantage of a situation. The opportunist. The opportunistic mindset to take advantage of any person when they seemed vulnerable in that situation, Ski. Oh, yes. Well, anyway. Building trust, the con. They appear friendly, helpful, and professional. Initially, often creating a fair weather friend persona. The foot in the door approach They start with small, reasonable requests to gain compliance before moving to larger, fraudulent demands. Do you understand? Now, this is Ski in a nutshell. Started off with the whole sound thing. That was his catch. Promoting sound. Yeah, your sound, it just sounds not good. The sonics are not right. The sounds of these music records just don't sound right. That was his catch, right? And that was his way to lure people in, right? Because he know that a lot of people who are not in the industry, when they make a song, right, using their DAW, when they create a song using their DAW, right, it doesn't sound the same as the industry standard. He figured that out. And he said, you know what? We have a lot of fish out there, a lot of fish who don't know how to mix and master. They don't have the gear. We can lure those fish in and take their money. And that's exactly what had happened. All the people who had ambitions of being this producer to make this hot song, but when they bounced their tracks and compared it to the professionally mastered tracks, it just didn't sound up to par. So big ups to Ski for knowing that. And he targeted y'all with that fact because they know individuals like yourselves are most likely never going to make it in the industry anyway. But y'all have money. But you may want to spend money. That was his target market. That was his target market. The individuals who struggled to have good sound. Let me continue. Creating urgent drama. They often concoct a down on my luck story or create a false sense of crisis to prevent the victim from thinking rationally. He's so good at that. He has all those conspiracy theories where he blames everybody, blames the government. Yeah. You know, the earth is flat. There was no moon landing. That was rigged. And this new NASA launch to go around the dark side of the moon, that was staged, right? It's the God hour, right? But he never goes to church, people. Y'all are satanic. They're satanic. You're wicked. You're gay. You're homophobic. That's what I think, homophobic. But he calls people the G word. Right? He uses terms like that against the LGBTQ community. Right? He does that. He says that all the time. And then he uses the N-word in front of Tom Hilby, a white man. He just says the N-word like nigga, without prejudice. And his followers just keep following him like they didn't hear anything. Tom Hilby was literally about to blow his rocker. He was like, oh, no, I'm in the wrong place here. He felt uncomfortable because that's unprofessional behavior. And I know Tom Hilby to be a professional man. He's really a good man. And he felt very uncomfortable in that live. But let me continue. Isolation tactics. They often try to separate their marks from friends, family, or financial advisors to remove potential sources of a reality check. You see? Reality check. Reality check. And the reality is, these cons and grifts have to stop. And when you give individuals a reality check, that's when they become offensive. Do you understand? They become offensive. Just like me when I called him out about the consultations. and the lack of transparency and the willingness to pressure individuals to buy certain things. And if you don't buy, then I'm going to ghost you for a period of time or demonize you to a certain extent. Right? But it's okay. Mirroring and blending in. They are experts at adapting to their target's environment and social status to appear trustworthy. Now, I already went through that one. The sound thing. Oh, my sound just not good. It's just thin. It just don't sound good. Majority of people who record from home does not have good sound because their sound hasn't been mixed and mastered properly in a professional studio. He knew that. And that was his target. Because like I stated before, in reality, those individuals are just people who have dreams, right? They have ambitions to do something. They hear their favorite songs. They have some type of skill in music and they want to mimic that experience. So they listen to all these companies promote this, promote that. And then when they buy the gear or buy a DAW or something like that, and then they bounce it, do exactly what the directions say, and the track does not sound exactly as a professionally mastered track that you hear on the radio or even on media. So they're concerned by that. They're concerned by that. And the genius of Ski, he saw that as a window of opportunity to get super chats, to promote those phony consultations, to sell overpriced recycled drums, and to, I have to say he did the same thing, but with Dave Rossum and Tom Hilby. But Dave Rossum and Tom Hilby are smart people. They were like, okay, we'll play this little game as long as we get paid, as long as you do exactly what you promised to do. And that's exactly what he did. He attracted a target audience to spend money with this impression that their sound was going to improve, when in reality, right, you're just spending more and more money and there's no plan of action for the next phase for you to benefit or get a substantial return from your investment. It's basically you just working and giving your money to these people while you get nothing tangible in return or in return on your investment, people. So, a message to all the followers. Some of you are going to wake up. Some of you have already awakened. But for those who have not, you will eventually see the light. You will. And for Ski, we are an army. There are hundreds upon hundreds of thousands and even millions of people who can't stand grifters. And we've been fighting this war for a while. We've been fighting this war against pretendians and grifters, and we'll continue to call you out. But I can honestly say that we're winning the war. Grifters and con artists, squatters, and pretendians are being held accountable now. They're being held accountable. And we have people who have finally awakened and enlightened. And eventually the minions, quote unquote, will also, one by one by one by one, they will finally see the light. And they will finally be broken from this spell. Yes, broken from this spell. But it's okay, because I have no ill will to no human being. People can be reformed, and so can you, Ski. Join us, or you're going to see the wrath of individuals who cannot stand grifters or pretendians. I think you should join us. Like I said before, I will show you how to be a consultant. I can give you people who can help you be a professional consultant when it comes to music. I can give you those people. I can send those people to you. I can give you material to help you be a professional consultant when it comes to music, so you can have a concrete plan of action and a clientele that you can support. And then there'll be tangible results and a return on their investment, because that's the whole point of being a consultant. Your job is ensuring that your client will have a return on their investment based on your consultation. Do you understand, Mr. Ski? That's how a consultation works. So, you reform and join us. Join being part of the non-grifting team, and all will be forgiven, right? I will support you. I will support EA Ski in anything you do. But it has to be professional, your plan, and no more pressuring people to buy stuff, right? No more pressuring people to purchase super chats just because you have someone, a special guest or something. No, those are people. No matter what they have done in their lives, they are no different than the man who actually panhandles at a convenience store. They are simply human beings. Ski, you must learn that everything in this world is ideological. Basically, bullshit. Now, this is my frat brother, right? And his page. He has 138,000 subscribers. Pocket Watching with JT, right? And in his YouTube page, he exposes grifters, con artists, right? PPP loan scammers, squatters, etc. And he also gives financial tips and gives people advice on how not to get scammed or conned by these grifters, right? And just like Ski, when he tried to word bash me, right, calling me all types of immature names, right, with homophobic slurs and all, right, but I'm not that way, hint, hint, I'm not that way, calling me satanic and all that. They do JT the same way. The grifters, when they get called out for their nonsense, right, like Jay Morrison, right, big time con art. He conned so many people out of money. It was ridiculous. Jay Morrison, grifter number one, you know, and the list goes on and on, right? He talks about bankruptcies, and he informs people about financial trends, right? And all sorts of stuff. Legal battles when it comes to people who get scammed and conned. He talks about all of that, right? All of that in his videos. And he gets called everything in the book by these grifters. I mean, Jay Morrison called him everything in the book. Everything in the book, Jay Morrison called him for calling out his grift and his theft of his followers. Because just like all you minions out there who fall for Ski, right? All you out there, right? who fall for Ski. All Ski is going to do is take money out your pocket. You're going to keep buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. He's setting you up. He set you up from the beginning with the drum kits. He's just setting you up to keep buying and buying and buying and buying. And his target audience is middle-aged black men and even some white men with this dream of becoming some major producer, people. He's targeting you. That's who he's targeting. Is he going to take all your money too? He's going to take your money. He's going to keep going and going till y'all going to have a whole bunch of junk sitting there in your crib and nowhere to get rid of it, but selling it on Reverb. That's what he's going to do. That's his plan, to squeeze everything out of you until AI is fully 100% maximum capacity. Because once that happens, he's done. He's done unless he explores AI, but then everybody be doing it, so there'll be no money in it anyway. Just like there's really no money in this type of industry now. If you're not performing on stage, there's simply not any money in it. It's not. It's just a dark hustle. That's all it is. And I'm sorry. That's why you have to have a job and do this on the side. And panhandling on the internet is not it. No, I know it's cool to give super chat every now and then if you support the individual, but you don't demand people to give you a super chat. EA Ski was literally demanding his followers to give super chats, right? You better give a super chat. You getting all this information. You better give me a super chat. Who does that? Other than someone who's a grifter and feels as if they are entitled. So he can call me all types of names. All these people my frat brothers called out have called him names too. But we keep going. And we keep reforming people and educating people on how not to be scammed. And they also teach people on how not to be conned and scammed by these grifters, right? These grifters. Scam culture in the black community, right? This is a Pocket Watcher classic. He revamped some of his old videos in this channel he has right here, Pocket Watcher Classic. He got Pocket Watcher and he has Pocket Watcher Classics right here. So we get called all types of names all the time, Ski. That doesn't stop us. We keep going until everyone is informed about these grifters and these con artists. Do you understand, Ski? Do you understand?